Tonight, stock markets slide, the biggest daily drop in the U.S. in nearly 2 years. Recession fears and a global sell-off, and what it could mean for Canadian investors and interest rates. An urgent warning in the BC interior.
I cannot underline enough how extremely unstable and dangerous the valley is right now.
A week's worth of water surges through a natural dam. The fears over what could happen next.
Oh, goodness.
A rare stumble.
Biles and Charles really generous in their applause.
And a gracious bow.
This one was really over the top and in a really special way.
The story behind this remarkable moment of sportsmanship.
From CBC News, this is The National with Chief Correspondent Adrian Arsenault.
Thank you for joining us. Fears of a recession in the U.S. has driven a wave of volatility in markets around the world, some seeing years of earnings wiped away in a matter of hours. From the moment markets opened in North America, the decline was swift. The TSX spared for now on this holiday Monday, but still uncertainty about what tomorrow could bring. All of this started in the early morning hours with Japan's Nikkei suffering its worst day in nearly 37 years. Tuesday morning in Asia already brought a rebound, but it's not clear if Wall Street will follow. Katie Nicholson now on what could come next.
The numbers plunged down and down and down. Japan's Nikkei index falling by 12.4%, its worst day since the Black Monday crash of 1987. In Frankfurt, glum faces as European stocks hit a near 6-month low. The opening bell of the New York Stock Exchange heralded a similar day of panicked sell-offs, especially tech stocks. Cryptocurrencies also in a nosedive. At the root of this, fear of recession.
I think we have a combination of a growth scare and a Fed policy scare.
In July, the U.S. Federal Reserve opted not to lower interest rates. But after a weak U.S. jobs report, some are pushing it to make an emergency rate cut ahead of its next scheduled meeting in September. Too drastic, say others.
Is the economy slowing? Yes. Is there any need for an emergency Fed cut? Doesn't look like it, in our opinion.
Canada's markets, closed Monday, could well be pulled down if the global undertow continues Tuesday, even though the Bank of Canada lowered its key interest rate for a second consecutive time in July.
They were probably more concerned about a recession. I guess in the US, they were more concerned about inflation. And maybe today the news is that probably the Bank of Canada's fears were the right ones.
Analysts are split on whether a recession might be looming, but are cautioning against panic.
This is pretty normal after, a bull market. This little bit of this correction is, again, just the move toward normalization.
Still, U.S. presidential candidate Donald Trump quickly seized on the political implications, blaming the bad day without any evidence on his opponent, posting, "Trump cash versus Kamala crash," playing into the long-held bias that Republicans are better for the economy than Democrats.
So, Katie, clearly a lot of pressure on the U.S. Fed, but as I understand it, there's no indication yet of some kind of emergency rate cut coming.
Right. Yeah, the thing you have to keep in mind is an emergency rate cut, that is something that is reserved for a black swan event, something like, say, a global pandemic. And we also have to keep in mind that the Fed has already sort of signaled it was going to make a rate cut in September. Meanwhile, here in Canada, the Bank of Canada has hinted that we can expect more rate cuts in the fall. That's so long as inflation doesn't heat up again.
So just stay the course.
That's it.
All right, Katie Nicholson, thank you. In just hours, U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris will make one of the biggest announcements of her campaign, who will be her running mate. And the list of finalists is reportedly narrowed to just 2. Richard Madden now on the candidates who could change the race.
Mere hours before her own deadline to choose her running mate, Vice President Kamala Harris has reportedly narrowed it down to 2 finalists to help balance the ticket.
What Kamala Harris is looking for is someone who can be a good complement to her on the campaign trail and really bring in a constituency that she may have less ease in connecting with. And that is white men as well as moderates generally.
After meeting with several contenders over the weekend, Harris is reportedly leaning towards 2 popular governors, Josh Shapiro of Pennsylvania and Tim Walz of Minnesota. Each have unique advantages and baggage.
Vice President Harris has been battle-tested. She is ready to...
Shapiro runs the biggest swing state Democrats need to win. His moderate stance may appeal to independent voters, but his criticism of pro-Palestinian protests on college campuses could divide the party.
Relatively popular, balances the ticket on policy.
But he has some liabilities with the progressive wing of the base.
Yeah, cons for Shapiro, main cons for Shapiro are coalitional dynamics and Israel-Palestine, which is one of the more high salience issues in the election and might flare up.
Investing in children, taking climate change seriously, working as true partners with state.
Minnesota's Tim Walz has a progressive record and is backed by labor unions. His folksy style has made him a star among Democrats, but his appeal may be limited.
It could be painted as more liberal, sort of not serving that policy balancing role that you might want out of a vice president. And he's not from Pennsylvania. Minnesota is probably a safer Democratic state.
Key issues expected to influence Harris's pick include the economy, the war in Gaza, electability in swing states, and political chemistry to energize the party.
We have a fight in front of us, and we are the underdogs in this race.
So, Richard, tick, tick, I suppose Harris is must at this point, announce her pick tomorrow as she begins a tour of the battleground states.
Yeah, the rollout is fascinating. Harris will reportedly first announce her running mate on social media, along with a video and live stream, and whoever she picks will make their debut at a big rally in Philadelphia tomorrow. That'll be the start of an ambitious tour of 7 key swing states over 5 days, stretching from Wisconsin to Nevada. Now, as we mentioned, the campaign hopes this rollout will sustain the enthusiasm ahead of their convention 2 weeks from now, where the ticket will be finalized and the campaign begins a new phase.
All right. Richard Madden in Washington. Thanks, Richard.
You bet.
Parts of the U.S. South are bracing for potentially catastrophic flooding after Storm Debby crashed ashore in Florida as a Category 1 hurricane. Well, Debby is now a tropical storm, and this is what's being left in the wake. Roads and communities there already dealing with flooding, and at least 4 deaths are linked to the storm so far. It's now moving through Georgia and into South Carolina at a crawl, bringing torrential rains with it. In the central BC interior, the Chilcotin and Fraser rivers are being watched closely tonight. Water that's been building up for nearly a week behind a landslide is now pushing past that natural dam. So that landslide happened on the Chilcotin River southwest of Williams Lake. People along 2 stretches of those rivers told to evacuate over fears about flooding and debris flow. Yvette Bren takes us through the concerns now with that water now on the move.
Streams of muddy water cut fissures in the dam of earth, collapsed trees rush downstream.
I cannot underline enough how extremely unstable and dangerous the valley is right now.
Water that pooled for a week began to trickle through the natural dam in the morning. By noon, it was a powerful surge.
As if you had your sandcastle with your moat, and then all of a sudden you dumped a big bucket of water into your moat and you had that big pulse of water move through. That is kind of what we are anticipating this to look like.
The surge of water from the Chilcotin River is expected to swell waters downstream for days.
Fingers crossed that it's a strong flow but steady and not just busting out.
The nearby First Nation fears for what this could mean for the salmon that migrate up these waters to spawn.
I'm really concerned about our salmon. Already, this run was going to be a low run.
BC's River Forecast Centre has issued flood warnings along the Chilcotin and Fraser rivers. 100 kilometers of the riverbank evacuated.
The risk is decreasing, but understand it is clearly still there. If people listening today take just one message away, it's this: stay off the Chilcotin and Fraser rivers.
This water will be moving fast, faster than spring flooding, and it will be carrying dangerous debris.
Officials had said it could take more than a day for the water to reach the lower mainland, further south, where this father enjoyed the Fraser River, oblivious to the drama upstream.
You look around you, it's not, there's no real evidence of anything that would concern us. So, I mean, we're just out here enjoying the holiday weekend.
As the flow hits Hope and then Vancouver, it's expected to ease. And the river here has the capacity to accept a lot more water. It's hoped that debris will clear before the salmon begin to swim upstream as they begin to spawn in just a few days. Yvette Brenn, CBC News, Vancouver.
Some Jasper residents got their first in-person look today at their town, partially destroyed by a wildfire nearly 2 weeks ago. And as Aaron Collins shows us, the Prime Minister was also in the area for an in-person briefing.
Alberta's Premier back in the Jasper area, checking in with wildfire crews on the ground, joined by the Prime Minister in this mobile command center in nearby Hinton. Both politicians briefed on efforts to contain the fire that destroyed parts of Jasper.
It's an integrated strategy of dealing with fuel accumulations, especially close to facilities and structures.
Alberta's Premier says evacuees are eager to get home.
There's a real sense of let's get on with this, let's get on with rebuilding, and I think there's a lot of real hope.
The impact of last month's wildfire, no secret. Difficult images circulating since the fire tore through this mountain town. Monday, Jasperites were offered tours to see the damage firsthand, sights some weren't ready to see.
We just made the choice as a family that we wanted to see our community privately.
And as evacuees wait to return home, other worries linger.
A lot of businesses in Jasper have really been affected, and the focus has been on residential and households.
Well, it's still unclear when people will be able to return. The fire that caused this crisis still burning needs to be under control first. Over the weekend, a stark reminder of how dangerous that job is. This tribute for a 24-year-old wildfire fighter killed on Saturday.
I'd like to acknowledge the outpouring of condolences that we've received over the past few days. And thank you to everyone who's taken the time to honor the work of firefighters, and this one young man in particular.
Well, the tide could be turning for those firefighters. Cooler, wetter weather is expected this week. Aaron Collins, CBC News, Calgary.
The United Nations says it is firing 9 employees of its Agency for Palestinian Refugees after determining they may have been involved in the October 7th attacks on Israel.
Any participation in the attacks is a tremendous betrayal of the sort of work that we are supposed to be doing on behalf of the Palestinian people.
The UN Office of Internal Oversight Services investigated 19 UNRWA staff members accused of playing a part in the deadly attacks that sparked the war in Gaza. It found either no or insufficient evidence of involvement by the other 10. In Bangladesh, the country's long-ruling prime minister has resigned and fled the country amid violent protests. More than 300 people have been killed so far in anti-government demonstrations. Kayla Hounsell explains who takes over now.
They stormed the official residence of their prime minister, taking everything they could after she resigned following weeks of anti-government protests in Bangladesh and fled the country. Sheikh Hasina, known as Asia's Iron Lady, was the world's longest-serving female head of government. After she resigned, people vandalized a statue of her father, independence leader and known in Bangladesh as the father of the nation. The protest began peacefully in June, with students saying an old quota system to fill coveted government jobs wasn't fair and left them with less opportunities. The students say the system disproportionately allocated jobs to families of those who fought for independence from Pakistan in 1971. It grew into a movement against autocracy. Police and protesters clashed violently in recent weeks. More than 300 people have been killed.
We lost our freedom of speech. We could not speak our mind. And today, you can see everyone is
Though the unrest continues, much of the country has been peacefully celebrating Hasina's departure.
We must believe and we must never forget that if you speak the truth, you should never fear.
Hasina's government has been recognized for alleviating poverty, but also increasingly becoming more authoritarian.
There are so many communities that deserve social justice and welfare, and this is the time for Bangladesh to move forward in those directions.
The military announced it will begin talks to form an interim government. The head of the army is promising to examine the killings. The U.S. says it welcomes an interim government, while the European Union is calling for a peaceful transition toward a democratically elected government. Kayla Hounsell, CBC News, London.
New data from Canada's airline regulator shows around half of passengers have been compensated when they file complaints, but they can't talk about the details. And as Sophia Harris tells us, experts warn the secrecy could have a chilling effect.
Jason Park took his case to the Canadian Transportation Agency after WestJet rejected his compensation claim for a more than 24-hour flight delay. Last month, the CTA ordered the airline to pay up.
I'm pleased at the outcome. I really am.
So are many passengers who also took their case to the CTA. According to new data, in half of all CTA case rulings over a 9-month period, airlines were ordered to provide passengers with compensation or a refund.
Passengers, half of them were right, that they should have been paid and the airlines are wrong.
But there's a catch. Just before Park's CBC interview, the CTA told him he can't talk about his case ruling, like how much compensation he got and why, because it's confidential.
I think it's not fair, and I don't understand the level of secrecy behind these decisions. There's information in there that could assist passengers.
Under federal regulations, airlines must pay compensation for certain flight disruptions. Last year, Ottawa introduced new rules to streamline the CTA process. One result, these full CTA rulings are no longer made public.
It's a violation of the open justice principle that these legally binding decisions are being made essentially in private. I have grave doubts about the constitutionality of this provision.
But the CTA says the new regulations provide more transparency because people can now easily find key details about each ruling on its website, like the flight number and if passengers got compensation.
The point of putting this information out is so that another passenger would be able to say, okay, I also was on this flight, was compensation ordered. That is the relevant information for passengers.
As for Park, he knows all the reasons why he got compensation. Now he's just waiting for WestJet to pay up. Sophia Harris, CBC News, Toronto.
In Paris tonight, a Canadian champion is fighting to get back on the podium.
Andre de Grasse, the defending Olympic champion.
What's next for Andre de Grasse after the break? And why Alberta farmers are pivoting, hoping to cash in on a growing appetite.
They can see the opportunities in the potato industry.
And later, inside rural emergency rooms at a real breaking point.
I think what we're doing right now is not sustainable.
We're back in 2.
De Grasse has got to work. He's in the top 4, and De Grasse will get there.
There he is. Andre de Grasse has advanced to the semis in the 200-meter. The Canadian finishing second in his heat with a time of 20.3 seconds. De Grasse is the reigning champion in the event, taking home gold in Tokyo. His semifinal race is set for Wednesday.
Brandy going up, and she kills it! Canada!
And that is Canada's Brandy Wilkerson delivering a spike and the exclamation point in a stunning upset against the number 2 ranked Americans in women's beach volleyball. She and her partner, Melissa Humana Paredes, won in straight sets. Next up, they'll take on Spain in the quarterfinals, also on Wednesday. With 46 medals, it's France that is having an outstanding Olympics, bringing a sense of national pride to a country that's been very divided. Salima Shibji now on how the host nation is coming together and why it could be short-lived.
A hero's welcome for Le Roi Léon, the king, Léon Marchand,
who has captured the hearts of the French.
There's your man.
With 4 gold medals and a bronze. He's hyped up the country like no other.
Here he comes.
Fans pausing whatever they're doing to watch him swim to glory. His event's over. Marchand may be thanking the crowd, but they want to thank him. This long line waiting to do just that, with France high on winning.
I feel like it's very nice for the country to be reunited around the sport, and let's go France.
They are wowing the massive crowds on the way to medal after medal, their highest count ever.
1, 2, 3, France!
From BMX cycling, where French athletes swept the podium, to judo, where Teddy Riner dominated. All of it a welcome distraction from France's political turmoil. Several weeks after a divisive election, the country still has no proper government.
Le Français avait envie de faire ouf.
The French wanted to let go, this man says, and think of something else.
In the middle of all the love and joy for these games, some say there's political opportunism, with France's president very much front and center, basking in the glow of his country's high medal count.
Emmanuel Macron is giddy, hugging the medalists and promoting it all on social media. What he's not doing is naming a prime minister, which the president has to do post-election. Macron is waiting until after the Olympics, a savvy political move, analysts say.
There is a high risk of any government designed by Emmanuel Macron getting overthrown, if I may, by the National Assembly, but it's not possible if the Assembly is not in session.
The session just wrapped mid-games, and while polarizing politics may soon be back to the fore, for now, the joy of sport reigns. Salima Shivji, CBC News, Paris.
Simone Biles has closed out her incredible Paris 2024 run, beginning the day with an uncharacteristic performance.
Oh my goodness, I have never seen Simone Biles do that.
Well, that slip took the American out of contention in the balance beam final. The 27-year-old ended up finishing in 5th, making the floor exercise her last chance to score another medal in Paris. And of course, she did just that, delivering another outstanding routine, nearly enough for gold, if not for 2 penalties for stepping out of bounds. Still, Simone Biles earned the silver, bringing her career total up to 7 gold, 2 silver, and 2 bronze medals in what could be her final Olympic Games. And that silver medal win led to another pretty remarkable moment on the podium. A celebration of sportsmanship, the story behind this moment coming up. But first, rare access inside 3 rural emergency rooms alongside healthcare workers struggling just to keep the doors open.
How do we keep up this pace in the long term, and if we can't, what happens?
And the patients who depend on them.
I can honestly say I'm here today because of this hospital.
The National takes you deeper into the stories shaping our world. Next. There is a growing appetite for Alberta's potatoes, and farmers are stepping up to that plate. Spuds are a booming business in the province. Paula Juhacek shows us what's driving the growth.
Canadians are crazy about French fries. Analysts say they're the most popular item at Canadian restaurants, and at this Calgary poutine shop, fries are made from potatoes grown right here in Alberta.
We would say that 100% we rely on the potatoes to be specifically locally sourced and the freshest that we possibly can.
Alberta's potato industry is on the rise, the number of acres grown up roughly 30% since 2019. Most of those potatoes destined to become French fries, hash browns, and potato chips. The potatoes are largely produced in the south, where sunny days and cool nights mean perfect growing conditions and where more young farmers are entering the field.
Where you might not see it in other parts of agriculture, but people are truly excited about coming back because they can see the opportunities in the potato industry.
Potatoes go into factories like this one, owned by McCain, and come out peeled, packaged, and ready to cook. The company is betting big on the future of Alberta potatoes, spending $600 million to double the size of this facility. But some caution, French fries aren't a foolproof investment, and young people aren't eating spuds the way they used to.
We're seeing a declining incidence rate among Gen Zs. And this is because of the shifting menu considerations. A lot of new ethnic cuisines coming out, and these don't necessarily pair with French fries.
Still, with more demand for potatoes coming from Asia, back in Taber, farmers believe there's growing opportunity in growing potatoes. Paula Duhacek, CBC News, Calgary.
Now, let's break down the news shaping our world. A staffing crisis has left rural and northern hospitals on the brink of collapse.
The whole system is very precariously balanced and the resources are very thin.
There were more than a dozen ER closures of 24 hours or more just between May and July. Exhausted nurses and doctors are warning that lives are at stake. Amanda Pfeffer and producer Ryan Garland got some rare access inside some of those hospitals, following doctors and nurses in their daily struggle just to keep the doors open.
Small town Northern Ontario is dying. Our healthcare system is broken big time.
Here's my hand. Okay, all set. There we go. Good job.
I wouldn't want to live here without a hospital here. I have to send the only ambulance in my town out of town.
I don't feel that what we're doing right now is sustainable.
You really did clunk your head. You're going to be very sore.
Right now we're in a crisis.
Our inability to operate puts people's lives at risk.
We've been hearing a lot about the problems faced by northern and rural hospitals across Ontario, and we decided we're going to take a closer look. We've just arrived in Sault Ste. Marie, and we've been invited to follow along healthcare workers in this region to see how they're facing the challenges and how they keep their hospitals open to their communities. Our first stop is the hospital in Blind River. The hospital here is part of the North Shore Health Network, 3 hospitals on the North Shore of Lake Huron along the Trans-Canada Highway.
And then you are going to need stitches.
I want stitches. I know. Dr. Deanna Hagan is on duty in emergency and one of the few local doctors serving this hospital. They used to have 6 doctors help fill the shifts at the emergency department, but at the end of June, 2 local doctors left the region. A third is pulling back from the hospital to focus on primary care.
Do you want Mom and Dad to sit with you? I think the thing that actually keeps me up at night is like, how do we keep up this pace in the long term? And if we can't, what happens? We're gonna stay really still, okay? 1, 2.
With half the local hospital doctors leaving, they depend more and more on temporary doctors called locums. Most fly in for shifts.
We're one missed plane ride away from a possible closure, which is a fragility that urban places don't experience to the same extent. This is our triage space. Tim Vine is CEO here. He says Blind River hasn't had to shut down yet. But we drove 45 minutes down the road to the hospital in Thessalon, where 4 times last summer the ER shut down over 24 hours. The hospital has had shorter closures since.
What happened?
I was driving down the highway and the whole right side of my truck just locked up and I had no control and it threw me right into the ditch.
The hospital is right off the Trans-Canada Highway.
So Shaw, on the whole, is very lucky. He's going to be very sore today and worse tomorrow. So we'll go give him the good news.
Dr. Amy Vine is making decisions each shift to make sure the doors stay open.
I'm not a radiologist, but to my eye, the x-rays look good. We do the very best with what we have. We have very highly skilled staff, and we make it work. And we've improved a lot of people's health and saved a lot of people's lives by being here. Hi, I'm Dr. Vine. How are you today?
Amy Vine is one of those rare commodities in rural Ontario, a doctor from the region who decided to stay. Across the province, pandemic delays accessing care and the lack of family doctors means sicker patients more often.
You sure no goop came out?
Nothing. Yeah. And sometimes they get slammed, like last night.
And I think we had 5 ambulances in total. Yeah, like it was crazy.
So what happened today?
We spent hours on an ER shift with Dr. Vine.
So we just saw an 81-year-old female who had a fall in her trailer.
The hospital does have an x-ray machine, and the x-ray can tell if bones are broken.
And she is complaining of some right leg pain, but can't tell me where in her leg exactly it hurts. Can I look at the pelvis on your screen? Wow.
And it's, we put ice on it.
You
right
really
away.
did clunk your head.
But there is no CT scan to check what's happening in the brain.
Some people in her age group, we would do a CT scan of their head to make sure that they don't have bleeding in their brain. And so this will be a discussion between her husband and I whether we think that's necessary.
No CT scan means Dr. Vine has to decide whether to send the patient away to hospitals in Sault Ste. Marie or Elliott Lake. Both are more than 45 minutes away. There's just one problem. A nurse would have to go with her.
The whole system is very precariously balanced and the resources are very thin. If the nurse has to go in the ambulance, then we have to close as well because the RN is gone.
Shutting down the community's only ER to accommodate one patient's CT scan. It happens for a few hours, a couple of times each month here. And it can also leave the community without an ambulance, a situation that can lead to what they call code black.
It has been an increase simply because we're doing a lot more transfers than we typically do. And we do find some hospitals are a little more difficult to understand the situation that we're in. So that is the area we cover. About 45,000 square kilometers is what we cover.
There's one ambulance on duty in Thessalon, 2 in Blind River during the day, and they are busy. Not just for 911 calls. More than 2/3 of the calls are leaving just to transport patients to tests and specialists not available at these small hospitals.
You okay jumping back with her?
We took a ride to see what the paramedics are facing in this region each day. And the first call took this ambulance out of the region for 2 hours to transfer a patient for a test that couldn't be done in Blind River.
No recent fevers, no new worse than normal.
And there's a staffing shortage for paramedics here too.
My last set, I did 60 hours of overtime. 60 hours of overtime in one set in 2 weeks. It's just like, that's crazy. If you go to a workplace and you're always pressed to do more than, you know, you're constantly asked to do more. You're constantly asked to take more shifts, work longer hours, and that's every day. After a certain point, you look for a place with greener grass. You move on, right?
It's definitely a crisis time right now, trying to balance everything to try and get everybody the proper coverage they deserve.
We are hoping there is nothing wrong and the exam at this point is normal. We watch her and see how she does. If her condition deteriorates, then we consider the CT scan. Is that the way you want to go?
Well, then we'll go from there then.
No CT scan and an ER closure is averted for now.
When we come back, all this takes a toll on the very people trying to care for patients.
We're hanging on by a thread right now, like we're just kind of keeping the doors open.
The stress of being just one sick call away from having to close the ER. Next. For doctors and nurses working in struggling rural and northern hospitals,
she's got coronary artery disease, awaiting bypass.
Long hours and the daily challenge to fill shifts are taking their toll.
It's not sustainable for me. Definitely it impacts like my relationships. If you say no, I can't work that day and the emergency department closes.
Many are leaving and those left behind are being pushed to the limit. Here's more of Amanda Pfeffer's look at the staffing crisis inside those ERs and the toll it's taking on doctors and nurses.
Before the pandemic, this was one of 4 inpatient beds at the Thessalon Hospital. And now, since the pandemic began, they have been incorporated to expand the emergency department.
This was an inpatient room, that was an inpatient room.
They're using the space to beef up the service for the growing number of patients turning up at the ER each day.
Like now we have access to ultrasound. This is in a smaller exam room. This used to be our linen closet.
Those inpatient beds also required staff the hospital just doesn't have.
Yeah, like the ER wait times would be astronomical if we tried to have inpatients here now because we use the space every day.
But for people in the community, the loss of the inpatient beds is a sign that their hospital is in trouble. For them, the hospital saves lives, including Kathy Marshall's. When a flu last year took a dangerous turn, she couldn't breathe.
My first stop was here. I would not have made it without this. And I can honestly say I'm here today because of this hospital.
These women have been collecting stories from the community about why the hospital is so important.
Northern Ontario, small town Northern Ontario, is dying. We're becoming ghost towns, like my husband says. We got to move out of town. If we can't get a doctor and if we can't, get to appointments, we got to move.
This is not the only community fighting to keep their hospital open. The North Shore Health Network has 3 sites strung along the north shore of Lake Huron. This site at Richards Landing was threatened with closure more than a decade ago, but the community rallied and fought back.
And it raised a lot of public anger, and we had a number of public meetings.
The mayor, Jody Wildman, he says in the end they saved their ER, but they never let their guard down.
Rural Ontario can be killed. They can be starved. And we see that with services such as a hospital, doctor services, a school. If you take those services away, then it impacts the viability of your community and the future of your community.
But staffing troubles plague this hospital just as it does across the region.
Your first stitch is done.
Back in Blind River, Dr. Hagen is almost done sewing up a knee.
Any guess on how many stitches?
5.
6. And so mom and dad are going to watch to see if it gets red or pus starts coming out of it and all of that kind of stuff, okay? And if that happens, you have to come back.
Oh, I don't want to come back to the worst place.
It's not the worst place. Carolyn, are you the boss? I have an admission.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, this is Ryan from the CBC.
Nice to meet you.
There are inpatient beds here. Its emergency is busy. Today, they're short a nurse.
She's got coronary artery disease, awaiting bypass and aortic valve replacement, but they keep putting her off because they're not sure they can do it.
Oh, nice.
And she's only like 50. Yeah. This lady has a pretty complex cardiac history. She's awaiting open heart surgery in Southern Ontario, but she's in with chest pain and trouble breathing today.
It's like putting together the pieces of a puzzle.
Okay, sorry, I'm just gonna go look at her ECG here. If they
Dr. Hagen now needs the results from a blood test called an INR. It's a blood test for patients on blood thinners, but there's a new challenge.
Our machine is down for maintenance today, and I was told it would be 5 or 6 hours. So far we haven't needed anything urgently, but in this case, because she is on blood thinners for her heart right now, we want the test more quickly, but it'll probably have to be sent out.
They can't wait. They have to send the patient's blood to another hospital for testing. When Dr. Hagen started her career, the pandemic had just begun. It was trial by fire.
We'll see how things are going after the x-rays, okay?
And like Dr. Amy Vine, she is one of those rare doctors who decided to come back home to work in this region.
2 patients that have tested positive for COVID. I don't know if you do COVID rooms.
But coming home has come with a cost. The hospital doesn't have the resources of the larger hospitals where she trained, and more doctors are leaving.
We do have quite a few empty or unfilled shifts. So this is for all 3 sites.
Yeah.
All the yellow are unfilled shifts.
She's worked shifts that have extended to 32 hours to keep the ER open.
It's not sustainable for me. Definitely it impacts like my relationships, my home life, that kind of thing. It definitely puts strain there. I'm just a regular human being. And if you say no, I can't work that day and the emergency department closes.
Yeah. The stuff she loves, working in the region she grew up, taking care of folks in her community.
When they come in, you have a nice visit with them while you sort out whatever issue they have that day. And it's kind of what makes Emerge here fun. The good news is you got no bleeding in your brain. You still got a brain. Okay, I'm sorry about pulling your hair here, okay? Yeah, this is like the saga of today. So I have her, and then I also have another lady who has a mechanical valve here with a very complex cardiac history, and our machine's gonna be down for probably another 3.5 hours right now.
She says they're lucky to have people like Chief of Staff Dr. Nick Jeeves,
who has more than 3 decades experience in rural medicine.
That was her coming in with like terrible chest pain, clutching her chest, 3 sprays of nitro.
But Dr. Jeeves is on track to retire over the next 2 years. That would leave Deanna Hagan and one other as the last 2 full-time local doctors. The reliance on fly-in, fly-out locum doctors will increase, and long shifts will continue.
We're hanging on by a thread right now, like we're just kind of keeping the doors open. It would take not much to kind of be the straw to break the camel's back right now. I think what we're doing right now is not sustainable in the long run.
What would break the camel's back?
Honestly, if one person got sick, there aren't the bodies to fill the shift right now. It could result in a closure very easily.
Money is always an issue. They spent almost $1 million last year on pricey agency nurses to keep the hospitals going. The province has been offering special funding for the fly-in doctors, but the money is not long-term. And then there's the budget. Funding from the province fell short, keeping up with inflation.
The board is going to have some tough conversations.
The hospital's last couple of budgets have depended on last-minute bailouts from the province. Now, even if North Shore Health Network stabilizes the doctor and nursing shortage, the CEO says the chronic budget shortfall could still force hard decisions. Should Thessalon stay open?
I've got my answer, and it's an unequivocal yes. But if that's to be the case, we need to be funded in order to deliver that service, and we currently aren't. Now, I don't want to overstate things, but our inability to operate puts people's lives at risk. I don't think that should be, that should be relatively uncontroversial to say, because we're in the life-saving business, and if we're not there, there will almost certainly be deaths that would have been avoidable had we been there.
Hard.
Until the money issue is resolved, the future of the Emerge in places like Thessalon is not secure.
What happens if this hospital cannot keep its emergency room? What happens to this community?
Bad things. People will be sick, people will die. Like, the closest hospital from here is 40 minutes away. So that means that the people, I had a patient on Sunday who had an anaphylactic reaction to a bee sting, and she was minutes from collapse. Her vitals were very abnormal. If she wouldn't have gotten care in that first 5 to 10 minutes of arrival of this hospital, her fate may have been very different.
Amanda, the administrative work is crazy. Like, we saw all those unfilled doctor shifts for the month of August. What happened this holiday weekend?
Well, I spoke to the CEO, Tim Vine, and he said that they scrambled all last week to avoid closure for Friday in Blind River, Friday, today, and tomorrow in Thessalon. Things got really desperate. They had to begin their protocol for closure. And then at the very last minute, they started filling those holes. And if you think these temporary doctors, these locums, are expensive, when they fly in at the last minute, they're extra expensive. The province is footing the bill for those locums, good for the hospital, but that means we're all paying the bill, not just for this hospital, but all rural and northern hospitals that are literally keeping their doors open with these temporary doctors. Now, Tim Vine tells me that problem to fill spots will be a scramble every single week through Labor Day and beyond.
Okay, well, that's terrifying. Amanda, thank you for staying on this.
You're welcome.
When we come back, gymnastics royalty takes a bow to lift up a competitor.
I think Rebecca was surprised by the moment, and then she laughed and lifted her arms up.
The story behind their epic moment on the podium in Paris. Next. Well, what a moment for Brazil's Rebecca Andrade. Not only did she win gold in the floor exercise, but look at that. Praise from American Simone Biles and Jordan Childs. Tonight, their remarkable show of sportsmanship and that podium perfect moment is our moment.
Seeing that moment today, Simone Biles in second place and Jordan Childs in third, Rebecca Andrade gets up on the podium and they bow to her almost like she was royalty. They bent down, and I think Rebecca was surprised by the moment, and then she laughed and lifted her arms up. And they're competitors, but they're all great friends. Simone was the favorite to win, and Rebecca had a better routine today. And so it was just like queens honoring queens.
I'm really happy for Rebecca. She deserved it.
Usually there's some handshakes, there's some hugs, and some smiles and winks. But this one was really over the top. and in a really special way. And I think that it opens up the conversation for all of the young athletes at home to think, you know what, you can want to beat your competitors, but you can also be one of their biggest fans and cheerleaders as well. It really is the gymnastics community coming together in celebration of greatness.
And Simone Biles said to see that all-black podium was super exciting. Also, for Rebecca, consider this, she has torn her ACL 3 times since 2016, and look at her now. For everyone here at the National, thank you for being with us. You can watch anywhere, anytime, on the free CBC News app and subscribe to the National's YouTube channel. I'm Adrienne Arsenault. Take care.